Hello friends, today we are going to discuss the summary and moral lessons from the famous short story called Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, Part 1. The transformation. One day a traveling salesman named Gregor Samsa wakes up to find that he has been transformed into a gigantic insect. But despite being in an insect's body, he still thinks like a human, and his first concern is about missing work and the repercussions of his tardiness. His family is worried about him because it isn't like him to be so silent. His office manager comes to check up on him, but Gregor can't tell him anything because his voice has changed. And when he opens the door, everyone is horrified by his appearance. The manager flees, and his dad forces him back into his room, hurting him in the process. Part 2. Isolation. Now confined to his room, Gregor struggles to come to terms with his new reality. At first, his sister, Greet, takes care of him, bringing him food and cleaning his room. But as the days go by, the family begins to see him as a burden. Greet and their mom decide to remove some furniture from his room to give him more space. But this only upsets Gregor, who clings to a cherished picture as his most prized possession. Part 3. Rejection. The family's financial situation is not good, so they take in boarders to make money. One evening, Greet is playing the violin for the tenants, and the music lures Gregor out of his room. Everyone is shocked to see him, and the boarders threaten to leave without paying. This is the turning point for the family. Greet says they have to get rid of Gregor, referring to him as it. Heartbroken, Gregor retreats to his room where he dies. The next day, the family finds him dead, and they feel a sense of relief. They decide to move to a smaller apartment and start looking forward to a brighter future, noting Greet's transformation into a young woman ready for marriage. Now let's discuss the moral lessons from the story. 1. The fragility of human identity. The story questions what makes us who we are. If our identity is tied to our looks and what we do, then what happens to it when we change? Gregor's mind and heart are still human, even after his body changes into an insect. It shows us that how we see ourselves might be very different from how others see us. It also shows how easily our identity based on our job or appearance can be taken away. Gregor is judged and treated differently once he becomes an insect. He was respected and valued because of his job, but when he can't do his job anymore, he loses his value in his family's eyes. 2. Love can be conditional. The story also teaches us that love and relationships can be conditional. At first, Gregor's family is concerned about him, but they quickly stop caring about him when he becomes a burden. This shows us that not all relationships are strong and lasting. Sometimes people only care about each other when it's convenient for them. 3. Alienation in modern society. Gregor's isolation and loneliness also show us how people can be alienated or separated from society. Even his family abandons him because he doesn't fit in anymore. This can happen to anyone who is different or can't do what is expected of them. It also shows how people can be cruel to those who are different, and how those people can feel very lonely and misunderstood. 4. The burden of guilt and responsibility. Another lesson from the story is that, even when we are not able to help our loved ones, we still feel guilty. Gregor feels responsible for his family's problems, even though he is sick and not at fault. This shows us that we need to learn when to let go of our sense of responsibility. It also shows how important it is to take care of ourselves and those around us. 5. Change is inevitable. Finally, the story teaches us that change is inevitable. We cannot always stay the same, and we must learn to accept and adapt to the changes around us. Greg's change from a caring sister to someone who wants Greg to be removed shows how people change when faced with difficult situations. It also shows how important it is to be compassionate and understanding during tough times. The Metamorphosis is a sad but thought-provoking story that raises important questions about our identity, relationships, and the world we live in. Do you agree with the morals of the story? Do you think we should accept and adapt to the changes around us? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.